Earth's fleet was silent for 10 years, then they returned. For 10 years, Earth's fleet had vanished. No one knew why. No one knew where they were. The ships had left in a hurry, responding to a call for help far beyond the solar system. But after that, nothing. No messages. No distress signals. Just silence. On Earth, people tried to live normal lives, but the absence of the fleet weighed on everyone. The old space station still orbited the planet, quiet and empty, reminders of what once was. Families who had lost loved ones waited, hoping for news that never came. Children grew up listening to stories of brave pilots and massive warships, learning of battles fought in the darkness of space. Some believed the fleet was gone forever. Some refused to believe it. Commander Lisa Grant stood on the balcony of Earth's main space defense headquarters. She was tall, with short brown hair, and her eyes were sharp and thoughtful. She had been part of the fleet before it vanished. She remembered the day the ships left, the roar of engines as thousands of vessels moved toward the unknown. She remembered the fear, the hope, and the pride in human skill. Now, 10 years later, she was the leader of a planet still unprepared for war. "Reports are coming in," said Lieutenant Daniel Price, a young officer with dark hair and steady hands. He had never seen the fleet in action, but he knew their legend. No unusual signals in the outer systems. Alien activity is steady, but no attacks. Lisa shook her head. "Steady doesn't mean safe. The fleet was our shield. Without them, Earth is weak. We need to train our pilots and engineers. We cannot wait for something to happen." On the streets below, people went about their daily lives, unaware of the quiet tension in headquarters. Children played in the parks, laughing under the sun. Merchants sold food and supplies. Ships flew quietly in orbit, performing maintenance and deliveries. Life seemed normal, but normal felt fragile. Ethan Cole, a young pilot, stood in a training hangar watching a simulation. He had never seen real battle, but he dreamed of it. He dreamed of flying one of the massive Earth ships, of joining the fleet, of fighting aliens who thought humans were weak. He had been too young when the fleet left, only a boy of 10. Now he was 20, trained and ready, but no one would let him fly into space alone. The fleet was gone. He was stuck waiting. "You push yourself too hard," said his instructor, Carla Evans. She had flown with some of the returning pilots when they were first reported missing, though she had not seen them. "Simulations cannot prepare you for real space, but you have spirit, Ethan. That will help you survive when the time comes." Ethan nodded, but inside he felt frustration. 10 years was too long. Humans had waited, trained, and hoped. The fleet had been Earth's pride. The fleet had been humanity's symbol. Without it, the galaxy believed humans were weak. Far above Earth, alien empires watched. Most of them believed the humans were finished. The Galactic Council had divided human-controlled space into sectors. Planets that once traded with Earth now had new rulers. Alien leaders spoke in hushed tones about what to do next. Some laughed at the idea that humans could return. Some worried, remembering the stories of human cunning and resilience. Back on Earth, Lisa Grant called a council meeting. She entered the room, where advisors and officers waited. Maps of the galaxy were projected on the walls, showing alien territories and empty human systems. She stood at the center. "We do not know if the fleet is gone or alive," she said. "We cannot sit and wait. We must prepare. We must train more pilots. We must strengthen our defenses. If the fleet returns, we must be ready to follow their orders. If they do not, we must be ready to defend ourselves." Officer Emma Wright raised a question. "Commander, what about the outer colonies? Some have reported minor attacks from alien raiders. Should we send help?" Lisa paused. "We cannot fight alone. We cannot act without coordination. Our first priority is Earth. Once the fleet returns, we will have the strength to help others. Until then, we train, we wait, and we survive." In a small town in Colorado, a boy named Ryan Hill watched the night sky. He had a telescope and spent hours looking at the stars. His father had been part of the fleet. Ryan remembered stories of ships disappearing into the black void, never returning. He hoped they were still alive somewhere. He dreamed of being a pilot, of joining them, of seeing what they had seen. "You think they will come back?" his mother asked. She placed a hand on his shoulder. She had tried to protect him from the truth, but even she could not hide the long years of silence. "I don't know," Ryan said, "but I have to believe. They are human. They never give up." On the other side of the country, in a high-tech observatory, scientist Claire Mason worked late at night. She studied signals from deep space. Some were normal cosmic activity. Some were alien. Every signal was analyzed, recorded, and dismissed. For 10 years, she had found nothing unusual. Tonight, her screens blinked with a faint pattern, too weak to call a signal, but different from the background noise. "Probably just interference," she muttered, but she did not ignore it. She recorded the pattern, sending it to the central command. It was nothing at first, nothing that changed anything. But it was the first hint that the fleet might still exist. Back at headquarters, Lisa Grant reviewed old reports and logs. She remembered each ship, each captain, each battle. She remembered her friends who had left, not knowing if they would return. She remembered the hope of humanity. And now she felt a small spark. A spark that maybe, just maybe, the fleet was not gone. In space, far beyond the outer planets, a tiny ship drifted near a dying star. It was human. It had markings of the Earth fleet. Inside, Captain Nathan Brooks stared at the instruments. He had not seen Earth for 10 years. He had not seen his family. He had not seen the stars of home. The crew around him moved with precise skill. They had survived battles no human should have survived. They had learned secrets of alien technology. They had changed. Nathan spoke into the comms. "Prepare the fleet. Set course for Earth." For 10 years, Earth had waited. For 10 years, the galaxy had believed humans were gone. And now, the first sign of the fleet's return had begun. Ethan Cole trained late into the night, unaware of the changes far away. Ryan Hill watched the stars, hoping for a glimpse of the ships. Claire Mason studied signals, unsure what she had found. And Lisa Grant, at headquarters, prepared for the possibility of the impossible, that humans had returned and with them, the power to change the galaxy. The night sky above Earth seemed quiet, but somewhere in the dark, in the far reaches of space, engines roared softly. The fleet was coming home, and nothing would ever be the same again. The long silence of 10 years was over. The first signs of the fleet's return were faint. Deep space scanners caught tiny blips moving through the outer edges of the solar system. At first, no one on Earth understood. It could have been debris, alien ships, or a malfunction. But the patterns were too precise. Someone was coming. Ethan Cole stood in the observation deck of the Earth Defense Station. He had stayed awake all night, staring at the blinking dots on the monitor. "Lieutenant Price," he said, "are those ships real?" Daniel Price looked at the screens, shaking his head. "I don't know." 10 years, Ethan. 10 years of nothing. It could be anything. But Lisa Grant did not hesitate. She paced behind them, her mind sharp. "Anything that moves like this, it is human. It has to be. The patterns match old fleet formations. The timing, the distance between ships, everything. This is them. They are coming back." Outside the station, alien empires noticed too. Scanners across the galaxy picked up unusual energy readings. Rumors spread through alien colonies. One by one, alien leaders called emergency meetings. Most of them had assumed humans were weak, gone, or defeated. Now those assumptions were in danger. Captain Nathan Brooks sat on the bridge of the largest returning ship, the Horizon Glint. He looked at the stars of the galaxy and thought about Earth. It had been 10 years, 10 long years of silence. His crew had survived battles that no human was supposed to survive. They had learned alien tactics, studied alien weapons, and modified their own ships. Humanity had changed, even if the people on Earth did not yet know it. "We approach the outer planets," said Lieutenant Claire Mason, a communications officer. She had been with Nathan since the fleet had escaped the alien trap 10 years ago. "All systems ready for contact." "Any message sent now will be detected." Nathan nodded. "Keep everything silent. We arrive in orbit only when ready. Let Earth see us when the time is right." Back on Earth, the signals grew stronger. Scientists like Claire Mason, different from the fleet's officer, checked the instruments again and again. Each reading was more unusual than the last. "This is not normal," she whispered to her assistant. "Something big is coming. I can feel it." In alien space, panic spread. Alien leaders called war councils. They ordered spies to investigate, scouts to fly closer, and fleets to prepare. "The humans are alive," said General Varkin, an alien commander with scales along his arms. "They were supposed to be dead. Our divisions of their territory are at risk. We cannot allow this." His advisors argued. "General, it could be a trap. 10 years of silence. It is impossible for humans to survive that long without help." Varkin's eyes glinted. "It does not matter if it is a trap. Humans never play by normal rules. We treat them as finished. We are wrong. We act cautiously. Scouts fly closer. And if it is real, we prepare to fight." On Earth, Lisa Grant received encrypted signals from her research teams. The patterns were unmistakable. "They are forming," she said. "Hundreds of ships, massive ships. Earth is not alone anymore." Ethan Cole could hardly believe it. "Hundreds?" he asked. "I thought the fleet was smaller. 10 years and they built this many ships." "Not built," Lisa replied. "They survived. They learned. They adapted. This is not the fleet we knew. This is a stronger, smarter fleet. The humans who left 10 years ago are not the same humans we remember." The first human signal finally broke the silence. It was short, calm, and precise. "This is Commander Nathan Brooks of Earth Fleet. We survived. We return home." The room fell silent. No one spoke for a long moment. Ethan felt his heart pound. He had waited for this news his entire life. Lisa Grant held herself steady, but inside she felt a mix of relief and anxiety. The fleet was back, but what they had become was unknown. Far away, alien scouts approached the fleet. Their sensors detected the massive ships, their new formations, and unknown technology. Panic spread through their ranks. Some ships turned away. Others reported back to their command stations in fear. "They are not human anymore," one scout said. "Their energy readings impossible." On Earth, citizens noticed unusual changes in the night sky. Unusual lights appeared in orbit. Communications were jammed for short periods. Governments tried to keep calm, but the excitement was electric. In cities, people gathered, watching the sky, hoping to see even a glimpse of the returning fleet. Ethan Cole was finally allowed to board a simulation ship, modeled after the fleet's original designs. He ran drills, but his mind was elsewhere. He imagined the ships returning in real life, engines glowing, weapons at the ready, returning to protect Earth. He imagined the fleet landing, older pilots stepping onto the planet, faces hardened by 10 years in space. Nathan Brooks' fleet moved silently. Ships of all sizes traveled in perfect formation. They had developed new engines, new shields, and new weapons. They had fought countless enemies and survived worlds that would have killed ordinary humans. Every ship told a story of survival, courage, and adaptation. In alien space, commanders argued. Some wanted to attack immediately, fearing humans would grow stronger. Some wanted to retreat. Varkin decided to watch. "Let them approach. Let us see what they can do. We must learn their power before we challenge it." Back on Earth, Lisa Grant and her officers prepared for the first contact. They did not know what the fleet would demand. They did not know what the returning humans had seen, learned, or changed. They only knew one thing: the fleet was coming home. In the training hangars, Ethan practiced maneuvers. He imagined flying alongside the returning fleet, learning from veterans, joining battles in space. He could almost feel the engines vibrating under his hands. the roar of human ships cutting through the black void. Ryan Hill, the boy who had watched the stars for years, now had a telescope fixed on the approaching ships. The tiny dots in the sky grew larger each day. He could see the outlines of massive vessels. He ran to tell his neighbors, but most did not believe him. He was only a boy, yet he knew the fleet was real. Claire Mason, the scientist, confirmed it. "This is not a dream," she said. Hundreds of human ships moving toward Earth in formation. The fleet is returning. They are alive. On one of the fleet's ships, Nathan Brooks addressed his crew. "We do not fight yet. We return as humans, as survivors. Our goal is Earth. We will land when we are ready. We will show the galaxy that silence does not mean defeat. Humans have endured, humans have learned, humans have changed." The journey toward Earth was tense. Every crew member knew the stakes. Aliens might attack, space might be unstable, and yet hope filled their hearts. For 10 years they had survived the impossible. Now they were returning, not as lost children, but as masters of survival. Alien observers could not understand it. They had studied human psychology for decades. They knew humans were brave, resourceful, and stubborn. But no one had expected this. A fleet missing for 10 years, returning with more ships, better technology, and more experience than before. The galaxy held its breath. On Earth, Lisa Grant prepared announcements. She ordered civilian ships to stay grounded and military pilots to ready defenses in case of emergencies. But inside, she felt a different emotion. Relief, pride, hope. The fleet was coming. Humans were alive. And soon, the truth of humanity's endurance would be known to the galaxy. Ethan Cole watched the screens again, seeing the outlines of the fleet grow larger. His heart raced. "They are coming," he whispered. "They are really coming." Nathan Brooks' voice came over secure comms, calm and commanding. "Prepare for orbit. Maintain discipline. Humanity returns home, and we will do it with honor." The long silence of 10 years was breaking. The fleet moved like shadows over the planets, engines humming, weapons hidden, yet power radiating from each ship. The galaxy felt it. Aliens feared it. Earth hoped for it. Humans were returning. Not weak, not defeated, but strong, united, and ready to remind the universe why humanity survived. For the first time in 10 years, every human, every soldier, and every scientist felt it. The fleet was coming, and nothing would ever be the same again. The fleet arrived in the outer orbit of Mars first. The ships were massive, dark, and silent. Human technology had changed. Shields glowed faintly with new energy. Engines left streaks in space that no one on Earth had seen before. Sensors picked up alien technology integrated into their systems. The fleet had survived battles, captured ships, and adapted. They were no longer the fleet that had left 10 years ago. They were stronger, smarter, unstoppable. Commander Lisa Grant stood at Earth headquarters, staring at the projections of the returning fleet. "They are different," she whispered. "Their formations, their size, even the smallest ships are stronger than our best models. They have learned from years beyond our reach." Ethan Cole trained in the hangar, watching live feeds of the approaching fleet. He could see the skill in every maneuver. The ships moved with perfect coordination, as if the pilots shared one mind. Every formation was calculated to avoid collisions, to maximize defense, and to show power. He felt excitement and fear. The humans returning were heroes, survivors, and something more. Nathan Brooks walked on the bridge of the Horizon Glint, the flagship of the fleet. He had changed over 10 years. His face was lined, his hair a little grayer, but his eyes were sharp and commanding. He looked at his crew, all hardened by battle. "We survived where no one expected us to survive," he said. "We adapted, we learned. We returned for Earth not to conquer but to protect. Humans are not weak. Humans never were. Now they will see." Lieutenant Claire Mason checked the weapon systems, running simulations of potential alien attacks. "Our weapons are more precise now," she reported. "Shields are stronger, faster. We can defend against multiple fleets at once. Our engines allow maneuvers impossible in past designs. Every crew member has trained for 10 years. We are ready for anything. Back on Earth, the news spread slowly. First, through scientists and military leaders, then to the public. No one believed the first reports. Hundreds of ships returning after 10 years. It sounded impossible. And yet the evidence grew stronger. Satellite images captured glimpses of the massive vessels. Energy readings confirmed advanced technology. Humans were alive. Humans were coming home. Ethan Cole watched the screens again. "I never thought this is amazing," he said. "All those ships, our people survived. They are not just coming back, they are coming back as something more." Nathan Brooks held a briefing for his returning officers. "We were trapped beyond the galaxy in a sector no human had charted. Hostile species attacked us constantly. We lost many ships. We learned alien strategies. We rebuilt. Every ship we lost taught us a lesson. Every battle made us stronger. Now we return home to show the universe that humanity is never weak, never defeated." Officer Emma Wright listened quietly. She had read reports of lost human fleets before, but this was different. The fleet had grown in experience and technology without ever touching Earth. "They are legends now," she whispered to herself. "More than human." In alien space, reports of the fleet caused panic. Scouts reported hundreds of ships, larger than previously recorded, with weapons unknown and shields unlike anything seen before. Alien leaders called emergency meetings. "We underestimated them," said General Varkin. "We assumed they were weak. We assumed they were gone. Now we see the truth. Humans are not just survivors. They are something we cannot fight yet." Some aliens tried to prepare fleets for attack. Others advised caution. No one wanted to face humans in space after 10 years of silence. Rumors spread that the returning fleet had captured alien ships and learned their technology. Rumors that they had faced impossible odds and survived. Some aliens whispered that humans had changed in ways no one could understand. Back on Earth, Lisa Grant prepared for first contact. "We cannot interfere," she said to Ethan Cole and other officers. "The fleet has its own mission. We must be ready to follow instructions, and we must be ready to learn from them. Humans who left 10 years ago are not the same humans we remember." Ethan nodded, but inside he felt excitement. The fleet was not only alive, it was powerful. He could see the difference in the ships. He could imagine flying alongside veterans, learning their skills, and facing whatever the galaxy could throw at humans. Ryan Hill, the boy who had watched the stars for years, finally saw the fleet through his telescope. The ships were huge, lined in perfect formation. Lights glowed along the hulls. Energy readings flickered in patterns no one could understand. He ran to tell his family. "They are real," he said. "They are coming home. Humans survived everything, and now they are back." Nathan Brooks' fleet approached the asteroid belt. Simulations had prepared them, but nothing could replace experience. The fleet moved like a single organism, avoiding asteroids, maintaining formation, and detecting threats before they appeared. Ships split and merged seamlessly, showing the skill and precision of crews hardened by years of survival. "We have passed the first sector safely," Nathan reported. "All ships operational. No casualties. Prepare for the outer orbit. Earth is near." Lieutenant Claire Mason scanned the surroundings. "Alien sensors are active. We are detected. Some alien fleets are moving to intercept." Nathan nodded. "Let them come. We are ready. Humans have endured the impossible. We will not fail now." Back on Earth, Lisa Grant and her officers tracked every movement. They could see the fleet nearing Mars orbit. Communications were still quiet, but sensors confirmed every ship. "Hundreds of vessels," Daniel Price said, "larger than anything we imagined. They are not just back. They are a new force." "We must be careful," Lisa said. "If aliens attack, we cannot control the fleet yet. We must let them take the lead, and we must be ready to follow instructions." Ethan Cole's heart raced. For 10 years he had trained, waited, and dreamed of this moment. Now the fleet was real. Now humans who had faced impossible odds were returning home. He could only imagine the stories they would tell. Nathan Brooks walked along the bridge looking at the crew. "Remember," he said, "we are humans. We survived where no one expected. We adapted. We became stronger. Now we return home not as victims but as survivors, as masters of survival. Every ship here carries a lesson. Every crew member here carries courage. Remember this as we approach Earth." The fleet moved closer to Earth. The planet looked small from orbit, but it was home. 10 years had passed and humans had changed. The fleet had changed. They were no longer ordinary humans. They were warriors, survivors, and teachers of endurance. Alien scouts detected the fleet. They reported strange formations, unknown technology, and weapons that fired energy in patterns no alien had seen before. Panic spread. Some fleets moved to attack, but many waited, fearful of the humans' true strength. On Earth, citizens gathered in cities looking up at the sky. Satellites and telescopes showed the growing fleet. People whispered, cheered, and prayed. After 10 years, humans were returning. Humans who had been silent, feared gone, were alive. And they were stronger than anyone imagined. Ethan Cole stood in the hangar watching the displays. "I want to be with them," he said. "I want to learn. I want to fight. I want to see what they have become." Ryan Hill ran to the observation tower, watching the fleet's progress. "They are real," he said again. "We survived. We endured. Humans never give up." Nathan Brooks looked out at the stars, thinking of Earth. "We return for our home, for our people, for every human who waited. We will not fail. Humans endured 10 years of silence. Now we will show the galaxy why." And the fleet continued its approach, massive, silent, and powerful. Earth watched. Aliens panicked. Humans hoped. And the universe waited. The fleet had changed, adapted, and learned. It was no longer the fleet that had left 10 years ago. It was stronger, smarter, and ready. Ready to remind the galaxy that humans survived, humans endured, and humans never gave up. For the first time in 10 years, the stars above Earth shone with hope. The fleet had returned. And the galaxy would never forget it. The fleet reached the outer orbit of Earth. Massive ships hovered in silence, their engines glowing faintly. Humans on Earth watched in awe. The fleet had returned, but it was no longer just a group of ships. It was a force of survival, strength, and experience. Every vessel carried stories of battles fought and worlds endured. Commander Lisa Grant monitored the fleet's approach. She had spent 10 years preparing for this moment, yet now that it was here, she felt a mix of fear and hope. "Prepare communications," she ordered. "We must listen first. The fleet will speak. We follow their instructions." Ethan Cole stood in the hangar looking at the monitors. He had trained his whole life for this, but now that the fleet was here, he felt nervous. "They look different," he said to Daniel Price. "More powerful, more disciplined. We were not ready for this." Nathan Brooks stood on the bridge of the flagship, horizon glint. He addressed the fleet over secure channels. "Humans of Earth, we return after 10 years of survival, battle, and learning. We have endured what no human was expected to endure. We have adapted. We have grown stronger. The galaxy will see the power of humanity once more." Lieutenant Claire Mason checked the communications lines. "We are receiving signals from alien sectors," she said. "Some are trying to intercept. Some are sending warnings. They fear the fleet. The galaxy is panicking." Nathan Brooks listened to the reports. "Let them panic. We are not here to conquer. We are here to warn. A great enemy is coming. One that does not fear death, one that destroys worlds without hesitation. Humans have survived by strength and unity. Earth must prepare. The galaxy must prepare." On Earth, Lisa Grant gathered her officers. She showed them projections of alien fleets that might attack if humans did not act quickly. "They are not exaggerating," she said. "The fleet has seen things we cannot imagine. The enemy is dangerous. We must trust our returning humans. We must learn from them, not act on our own. Ethan Cole watched the monitors, seeing the fleet moving with precision. He could almost feel the lessons they had learned. 10 years, he whispered. 10 years of survival. They are warning us. They know more than we do. Nathan Brooks addressed the fleet again. We have encountered a coalition of alien species. They believe fear is the strongest weapon. They have destroyed civilizations. Their next target could be Earth. Humans are not afraid of fear. Humans survive, adapt, and fight together. This is our warning to the galaxy. We offer protection to smaller species. We fight not for conquest, but for survival. In alien space, panic spread. General Varkin received reports of human fleets returning to Earth, sending messages across the galaxy. They are warning the galaxy, he said. Humans do not seek war. They seek survival, and yet they are powerful. If we attack, we risk everything. Some alien governments started sending messages to Earth. They requested peace, cooperation, and observation. Others ignored the warnings, believing humans were still weak. But scouts reported that any attempt to attack the fleet ended in destruction. Alien leaders whispered about the skill, speed, and technology of the returning humans. The galaxy had underestimated them for 10 years. Now, fear replaced arrogance. On Earth, citizens gathered to watch the fleet. Satellites showed massive ships lined in perfect formation. Lights glowed along their hulls. The engines created energy fields that pulsed in space. People cheered, cried, and prayed. Humanity was returning. Humanity had endured. Humanity was alive. Ethan Cole finally received orders to prepare for first contact. He trained with simulation ships, following commands as if he were already part of the fleet. Every movement, every maneuver, every drill taught him more about what humans had become. He felt pride and determination. Ryan Hill watched from his telescope. They are warning everyone, he said to his mother. The fleet survived, they are strong, and they are telling the galaxy, humans are not weak, humans endure. Nathan Brooks moved his fleet closer to Earth orbit. Prepare for messages to command, he said to his officers. We must coordinate. Earth will follow our lead. Humans are ready for the coming threat. Lieutenant Claire Mason studied the signals. We are receiving alien responses, she said. Some are sending fleets to attack smaller systems. Some are retreating. They fear the fleet's power. Nathan Brooks nodded. Let them fear. Fear is survival. Humans do not attack without reason. Humans protect. Humans endure. Let this message spread. On Earth, Lisa Grant prepared a speech to address the public. The fleet has returned, she said. They survived 10 years in unknown space. They warn us of dangers beyond our reach. We must follow their instructions. We must learn from them. Humans are alive. Humans are strong. And humans will protect the galaxy if needed. Ethan Cole trained late into the night. Every drill brought him closer to understanding the fleet. He imagined flying alongside veterans, facing aliens, and defending Earth. He imagined the lessons the fleet had learned, and how humans on Earth could survive if the enemy arrived. Nathan Brooks addressed the entire fleet again. The enemy approaches, but they do not know humanity's strength. We survived 10 years of silence. We returned stronger. Our weapons, shields, and skills have grown. Every crew member has learned what is necessary to survive. We warn the galaxy, but if war comes, humans will fight. Humans endure. Humans survive. Humans protect each other. Remember this as we approach Earth. In alien space, fear spread. Fleets that had assumed Earth was weak began retreating or hiding. Spies reported that humans had captured alien ships during their absence, learning every system and weapon. The galaxy began to realize the truth. Humans were not gone. Humans were alive. Humans were stronger than ever. On Earth, citizens watched the sky. They saw lights of massive ships, patterns in space that no telescope had ever recorded. They felt hope, pride, and excitement. 10 years of silence had ended. The fleet was here, stronger, wiser, and ready. Ethan Cole finally understood. Humans had returned not just to survive, but to teach the galaxy what survival meant. Humans had endured impossible odds, captured knowledge, and returned home to warn their people. The fleet was more than ships. It was a lesson, a shield, and a force of unity. Nathan Brooks' voice echoed across secure comms. Humans of Earth, the galaxy is watching. We return to protect, to warn, and to survive. Trust us. Prepare yourselves. Learn from us. The future depends on human strength, unity, and endurance. The message spread. Humans on Earth followed instructions, training, preparing, and coordinating with the fleet. Alien species hesitated, realizing humans were not weak. The galaxy understood the truth. Humans were survivors. Humans were strong. Humans were a force that could not be ignored. Ethan Cole watched the fleet from the hangar. He felt pride, determination, and hope. He knew humans would survive whatever came next. The fleet had returned not for war, but to protect, not for conquest, but to endure. Humans were ready. The galaxy would see it. Nathan Brooks moved his flagship closer to Earth. The crew prepared for orbit, ready to demonstrate their power and send their warning. Humans had survived 10 years of silence. Humans had adapted. Humans had learned. And now they returned to remind the galaxy of what humans could do. The fleet shone in orbit, massive, disciplined, and powerful. The warning was clear: humans endure, humans survive, humans protect each other, and the galaxy would never forget it. For the first time in 10 years, Earth knew it was not alone, weak, or unprepared. Humans had returned. The warning had been delivered, and the universe waited to see what would come next. The final battle began near a dead star far beyond Mars. The enemy fleet had arrived, vast and threatening, carrying weapons designed to destroy worlds. Alien ships surrounded the system, confident that humans, silent for 10 years, would be easy prey. They were wrong. Commander Lisa Grant watched from Earth headquarters, coordinating civilian defense and monitoring the fleet's progress. "All ships are in position," she said. "The returning fleet leads. We follow their orders. Humans are ready." Ethan Cole stood on the hangar deck, suited up and ready. Simulations had prepared him for years, but this was real. The fleet moving in orbit, the enemy approaching, the planet below, it was overwhelming. He felt fear, but also determination. He thought of the fleet returning after 10 years, of surviving impossible odds, and he knew humanity would endure again. Nathan Brooks addressed his crew aboard the Horizon Glint. "This is what we trained for. This is what 10 years of survival and adaptation prepared us for. Humans are not afraid of numbers. Humans are not afraid of weapons. Humans endure. Remember everything we have learned, every lesson from the past 10 years. Today, we show the galaxy what it means to be human." The fleet moved in formation, massive ships cutting through space with precision. Smaller ships, piloted by veterans hardened by years of survival, flanked the capital vessels. Every move was calculated, every strategy designed to maximize survival and minimize loss. Lieutenant Claire Mason monitored energy levels. Shields at full capacity, weapons systems operational, enemy fleet approaching. "They outnumber us 3-1, but humans have advantage in tactics and coordination. We can win this." Nathan Brooks nodded. "Engage only when necessary, strike together, protect each other. Humans endure." On Earth, citizens watched as communications fed images of the approaching battle. Satellites showed the enemy ships advancing, weapons glowing. Humanity held its breath. 10 years of silence had ended, and now humans were fighting for survival, not just for themselves, but for Earth and the galaxy. Ethan Cole piloted a fighter alongside veteran pilots. He felt the difference between humans who had survived and humans who had stayed on Earth. Every veteran moved with skill beyond imagination. Every maneuver was precise, every decision measured. He learned quickly, inspired by the experience surrounding him. The enemy fleet fired first, energy blasts cutting through the void. The human fleet responded instantly. Shields shimmered under impact, weapons fired in perfect coordination. Alien ships fell one by one, destroyed not by rage but by skill, strategy, and human endurance. Captain Ryan Hill, piloting a mid-sized frigate, felt the thrill and fear at the same time. He had trained for this. He had dreamed of this moment. Now he fought alongside humans who had survived 10 years in unknown space. He realized how strong humans had become. Every enemy ship destroyed was proof of their skill and courage. Back on the horizon glint, Nathan Brooks coordinated attacks. Focus on the capital ships. Smaller vessels protect the flanks. Humans fight together. Humans protect each other. Humans endure. The enemy tried to retreat, then regrouped, but humans anticipated every move. Adaptive tactics, learned from years of survival, allowed the fleet to counter every attack. Energy blasts were dodged, counterattacks executed flawlessly, enemy ships destroyed or forced to flee. Ethan Cole saw the fleet's strategy in action and learned quickly. He struck a key enemy vessel with precise fire, helping to protect a group of smaller human ships. He felt pride. Humans were strong. Humans were united. Humans never gave up. On Earth, Lisa Grant observed the battle from headquarters. Tears filled her eyes as she watched humans fight for their planet and for the galaxy. "They are teaching us what humanity truly means," she said softly. "Courage, endurance, and unity. Humans never give up." Ryan Hill communicated with his squad. "We move together. Protect each other. Follow the veterans. Humans survive." The battle raged near the Dead Star. Explosions lit the darkness of space. Enemy ships fell like raindrops. Human ships moved with purpose, protecting each other and striking with precision. Humans were not just fighting, they were surviving, adapting, and proving their strength. Nathan Brooks issued the final commands. "Enemy fleet is collapsing. Focus all fire on remaining ships. Humans endure. Humans survive. Humans protect each other." The last enemy ships were destroyed or forced to retreat. The galaxy watched in silence as the human fleet emerged victorious, battered but unbroken. Humans had returned from 10 years of silence and reminded the galaxy why they should never be underestimated. Ethan Cole floated in his fighter, watching the remnants of the enemy fleet disappear. He felt exhaustion, relief, and pride. Humans had survived impossible odds, adapted, learned, and won. He knew this battle would be remembered forever. On Earth, citizens cheered as communications confirmed victory. Lisa Grant addressed the people. "The fleet has returned. They fought not for glory but for survival. Humanity endured. Humanity protected the galaxy. Remember this moment. Remember what humans can do when they unite. Humans are not weak. Humans endure." Nathan Brooks spoke to his crew. "We return to Earth as survivors, as warriors, and as protectors. Humans endured 10 years of silence. We survived battles beyond imagination. We fought the impossible. Today, the galaxy knows what it means to be human." Ethan Cole looked at the horizon, thinking of the fleet that had returned. He realized humans were more than ships and weapons. They were courage, endurance, intelligence, and unity. Humanity had survived, and now the galaxy would remember it. Ryan Hill returned to Earth orbit, watching the planet. He thought of all who had waited 10 years for the fleet. Humans had returned stronger and they had defended their home. The galaxy would never forget. Lieutenant Claire Mason prepared reports for Earth headquarters. "We won. We survived. Humans proved what they can do. This will be remembered across the galaxy." The returning fleet landed on Earth slowly, massive ships touching down with precision. Veterans stepped onto the planet, faces lined by years of battle and survival. Earth welcomed them, proud and grateful. Ethan Cole walked among the returning pilots, learning, listening, and absorbing everything they shared. He realized that humans had grown stronger, smarter, and braver than any alien had predicted. Nathan Brooks addressed the world one last time before retiring to headquarters. Humans endured 10 years of silence. Humans survived. Humans returned stronger. Remember this. Humanity is not weak. Humanity survives. Humanity protects. The galaxy will know it forever. On Earth, celebrations began. People cheered for the fleet. Children looked up at the stars and dreamed of flying among humans like Ethan Cole. The galaxy knew humanity had returned and they would never forget it. Humans were not just survivors. They were protectors, warriors, and teachers of endurance. Ethan Cole looked at the night sky where the fleet had returned from. He thought of 10 years of silence, of waiting, of dreaming. Humans had endured. Humans had survived. Humans had returned. The galaxy remembered humanity that day, not for disappearing, not for weakness, but for coming back stronger, united, and unbroken. Humans had returned. And nothing would ever be the same again. The long silence of 10 years was over. Humanity was remembered. Humanity had endured.